The Galactic Council chamber was filled with laughter. It echoed through the massive hall, bouncing off walls made of living crystal and alien steel. Hundreds of species sat in their assigned places, watching the giant hologram floating at the center of the room. On the screen was Earth, a small blue planet, weak defenses, old technology, and now a surrender request. "Is this a joke?" asked High Marshal Vorkin of the Zereth Empire. His four eyes narrowed in amusement. "The humans want to join this war with that planet." Another voice laughed. "They waited too long. The war is already decided." For 50 cycles, the galactic war had burned across the stars. Thousands of worlds had fallen. Entire species had been erased. Only the strongest empires remained. Earth was not one of them. The Council expected Earth to send fleets, warships, armies. Instead, Earth sent message. 3 soldiers. The chamber exploded with laughter again. "3," hissed Ambassador Krall. "My honor guard is larger than that." "They must be desperate," someone said. "No," another replied. "They are stupid." The hologram shifted. 3 human figures appeared. They stood still, silent. No armor that shined. No medals. No signs of pride. Just 3 humans. Their clothes were dark and simple. Their faces calm, cold, almost empty. High Marshal Vorkin leaned forward. "Where are your generals?" he demanded. "Where is your fleet?" The human in the center spoke. His voice was steady. "We did not bring generals." The council laughed again. Vorkin sneered. "Then you brought soldiers?" The human shook his head slowly. "No," he said. "We brought killers." The laughter faded, but only a little. "Bold words for a weak species," Vorkin said. "You send 3 beings to face an army of millions?" The human did not answer. The council dismissed Earth's offer. They decided to use the humans as a message, a lesson to others who might think of resistance. Earth's 3 soldiers were sent to the front line of the war, a dead zone, a system where entire fleets had vanished. No one expected the humans to survive more than a minute. The battlefield was silent. Broken ships drifted like bones in space. Burned planets floated without light. Sensors failed often here. Even advanced alien technology struggled. 3 human drop pods entered the system. No escort, no backup. They landed on a ruined moon once used as a military base. Alien commanders watched from orbit, waiting for the humans to die. But minutes passed, then hours. Still no signal of death. Inside the base, the humans moved quietly. They did not talk much. They did not panic. They checked weapons that looked old but well used. One alien observer frowned. "Why are they not afraid?" "They should be," another replied. "This place is cursed." The humans reached the center of the base. And then something changed. Alien sensors across the system went dark, one by one. Communication towers stopped responding. Defense drones shut down without damage. No explosions. No alarms. Just silence. "What is happening?" demanded an alien general. Before anyone could answer, a signal returned. One signal. A single human voice. "Target secured." The alien commanders froze. That base was protected by automated defenses older than most civilizations. One whispered. "How did they—" The signal cut off. Moments later, a massive alien warship lost power. Then another. Then 5 more. Panic spread through the fleet. "They are hacking us," someone shouted. "No," another screamed. "This isn't hacking." Inside the warship crushing dawn, alarms finally sounded. Doors locked. Lights failed. Soldiers grabbed weapons, fear shaking their hands. Then they saw them, 3 shadows in the corridor, moving fast, silent. By the time the lights came back on, the corridor was empty, and every alien soldier there was dead. No struggle, no warning, only precise kills. The humans moved like ghosts. They did not fight battles. They ended them. Back at the Galactic Council, reports began flooding in. Lost ships, silent fleets, entire command centers gone, all destroyed by unknown forces. An analyst said, his voice shaking, High Marshal Vorkin slammed his claws into the table. Find the humans. A final transmission arrived. The three humans stood together, blood on their hands that was not theirs. The central human spoke again. You asked why we sent only 3, he said calmly. Because wars are not won by numbers. He looked directly into the council's eyes. They are won by ending leadership. The screen went black. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council sat in silence. No laughter, only fear, because they finally understood one thing. Earth did not send soldiers. Earth sent the end of the war. The Galactic Council did not sleep. Across hundreds of worlds, emergency lights burned through endless nights. Commanders shouted orders. Fleets moved. Weapons charged. Fear spread faster than any signal. 3 humans had done what entire armadas could not. They did not conquer planets. They did not destroy cities. They removed control. Admiral Korth of the Valen Fleet stood before a massive star map. Red lights marked lost ships. Each red point meant silence. No survivors. No warnings. This makes no sense, he growled. 3 beings cannot do this. They are humans, an officer replied carefully. Maybe that is the reason. Korth turned sharply. Humans are weak, short lives, soft bodies. The officer swallowed. Yes, sir, but they planned differently. The council made a decision. If 3 humans were enough to cause fear, then the galaxy would answer with overwhelming force. They formed a hunt fleet, the largest strike group ever created. 5 empires, 3,000 warships, millions of soldiers. Their mission was simple. Find the humans, kill them, make an example of Earth. The humans knew they were coming. On a dark asteroid, hidden inside a hollowed rock, the 3 soldiers watched enemy fleets gather on stolen alien screens. One human smiled slightly. They're scared, he said. They should be, another replied. The 3rd human said nothing. He checked his weapon. Old metal, simple design. But every part was clean and perfect. They did not argue. They did not panic. They waited. The hunt fleet entered the system of force. Space lit up with engines and shields. Drones spread out like insects. Skin everything. Admiral Korth ordered, destroy anything that moves. Alien fighters rushed forward. Nothing happened. No ambush. No attack. Where are they? Someone asked. Then one ship vanished from sensors. Not exploded. Not damaged. Gone. System error? Korth demanded. Before the answer came, another ship disappeared. Then another. The fleet stopped moving. Fear crept in. They're hiding, an officer whispered. No, Korth said slowly. They're choosing. On the command ship Iron Wrath, power flickered. A crew member screamed. He collapsed without sound. No wounds. Just gone. Lights failed. Emergency systems activated. Then the humans appeared. Not from doors. Not from ships. They were already inside. Alien soldiers fired wildly. Shots missed. Weapons jammed. The humans moved between shots. Fast. Silent. Close. They did not shout. They did not rush. They ended lives with calm purpose. Within minutes, the command deck was empty, except for Admiral Korth. He backed away, claws shaking. You are monsters, he hissed. One human stepped forward. No, he said softly. We are professionals. Korth tried to run. He never took a second step. Across the system, the same thing happened. Fleet commanders vanished. Battle groups lost direction. Orders stopped. Ships drifted. Millions of alien soldiers waited for commands that never came. Panic took control. Some ships fired blindly. Others fled. The Hunt fleet collapsed without a battle. Back on the Galactic Council, chaos ruled. They're dismantling us, one ambassador screamed. This is impossible, another shouted. A calm voice cut through the noise. An ancient species known as the Elders finally spoke. You misunderstood humans, the Elder said slowly. You think war is about strength. The council fell quiet. For humans, the Elder continued, war is about removal. The hologram activated. Earth appeared again. A message began to play. The same human from before looked into the camera. You sent fleets, he said. We did not. You sent soldiers, he continued. We did not. The screen shifted, showing alien command centers. Empty. We do not fight armies, the human said. We fight decisions. The message ended. The council realized the truth too late. Earth had not entered the war to win battles. Earth had entered to end it. Far away, on a human military station, generals watched quietly. One officer asked, "Should we send more units?" The general shook his head. "No," he said. "3 is enough." He paused, then added, "They're still being polite." The galaxy had never known silence like this. Once busy trade routes were empty. Military channels stayed quiet. Command beacons blinked with no answer. It was not peace. It was fear. World after world locked its borders. Fleets hid behind planets. Leaders refused to appear in public. 3 humans were somewhere out there, and no one knew where. The Galactic Council gathered again, but this time the chamber felt smaller. No laughter. No pride. Only worry. "We cannot fight shadows," one ambassador said. "We need to force them into the open." "How?" another demanded. "They do not attack worlds. They attack minds." An alien general stood. His voice trembled, but he forced strength into it. "We strike Earth." The room froze. "Attack their home," he continued. "They will defend it. Every species does." The elders did not speak. The plan moved forward. A massive fleet turned toward Earth. Thousands of ships. Weapons charged. Planet killer cannons ready. The galaxy watched. Earth did not respond. No threats. No warnings. No fleet movement. "They are afraid," an alien commander said with confidence. The fleet entered Earth's system. Still nothing. They approached the blue planet. And then the stars went out. Not dark. Gone. Sensors showed nothing. Space itself seemed empty. "This is impossible," someone shouted. Ships collided. Weapons failed. Navigation broke. Inside the darkness, something moved. A human voice echoed through every channel. "You came very far," it said calmly. Panic exploded. Back in the darkness, 3 humans stood inside the enemy command ship. They had arrived before the fleet. They had been waiting. One human tapped the device. Space around the fleet bent. Light vanished. "Containment field stable," he said. "Time," another asked. "Enough." The 3rd human looked at the alien commanders frozen in fear. "You wanted us to defend Earth," he said. "This is us defending it." The fleet never fired a shot. Instead, one by one, ships shut down. Crews slept. Weapons powered off. The humans did not kill. They removed the threat. When the stars returned, the fleet was gone. Not destroyed. Captured. The galaxy screamed. Panic turned into chaos. "All human space is forbidden," empires declared. "Do not provoke Earth," others begged. Some species knelt. Others prepared final weapons. The elders finally stood. "This war is over," the elder announced. "Anyone who attacks humanity signs their own end." But not all listened. One empire refused. The Car Dominion. Ancient, proud, cruel. They activated a forbidden weapon. A sunbreaker. A weapon that could erase Earth's star. The humans noticed. The 3 soldiers received the signal. The 3rd human finally spoke. "Permission to end this." Earth Command replied instantly. "Granted." They did not go to the weapon. They went to the Dominion capital, in the heart of a city built over 10,000 years. During a live broadcast, leaders laughed as the humans appeared behind them. "How did you?" one began. The human interrupted. "We warned you." The broadcast ended. The sunbreaker shut down. The Dominion surrendered within minutes. Across the galaxy, the message was clear. Humans do not threaten. They demonstrate. On Earth, people never knew how close the end had been. Life continued. Children laughed. Cities lived. 3 humans returned to the shadows. Their mission was not glory. It was silence. The galaxy changed its tone overnight. Once, alien leaders spoke of Earth with laughter. Now they spoke in whispers. Human space was marked in red on star maps, not as an enemy zone, but as a do not enter zone. Historians rushed to rewrite records. Commanders erased old insults. News channels avoided the word weak when speaking about humanity, because the truth was finally clear. Humans were not strong like giants. They were not fast like predators. They were not ancient like the elders. They were something worse. They adapted. In a secure chamber far from public eyes, the Galactic Council met again. This time, Earth was invited. A single human diplomat appeared on the hologram. He wore no armor, no weapons, just simple clothing. Still, no one interrupted him. "We did not want this war," the diplomat said calmly, "but you brought it to us." An alien ambassador swallowed. "Why did you send fleets? Why only 3? The human paused. "Because fleets are loud," he said, "and loud things are easy to stop." Silence followed. "You expected heroes," the human continued. "Heroes fight fair. Heroes seek honor." He looked around the chamber. "We don't." Military analysts across the galaxy studied every recorded human action. There was a pattern. Humans never attacked first, but when they did, they struck the mind before the body. They cut leadership. They broke communication. They removed choice. By the time enemies realized they were at war, it was already over. On a distant world, a group of alien officers trained new recruits. One instructor pointed to a human symbol on the screen. "Rule 1, he said, "never underestimate humans." "Rule 2, he added, "if humans are quiet, run." The recruits laughed nervously. The instructor did not smile. Meanwhile, the 3 humans remained unseen. They moved through the galaxy like rumors. Some said they were machines. Others said they were experiments. A few believed they were myths. But every fallen empire knew the truth. They were real. A small rebellion formed in the outer systems. Young commanders, angry survivors. They believed the galaxy had surrendered too easily. They planned an ambush, not against Earth, against the 3 humans. They tracked unusual signal patterns, dark zones, silent systems. After months, they found a location, a dead star system. "This is it," their leader said. And the fear. Their fleet jumped in and found nothing. No ships. An officer said. No stations. Then a light appeared. One human ship. Small. Old. Alone. Cheers filled the rebel fleet. "There they are." Weapons locked. Before firing, a message came through. "You came looking for ghosts," a human voice said. That was brave. The rebel leader grinned. "You're outnumbered." "Yes," the voice agreed. "We usually are." The battle lasted 12 seconds. Not because of firepower, because the rebels never got a fight. Their weapons turned off. Their engines died. Their command codes were overwritten. The human ship vanished. A new message played. "We are not here to rule," the voice said. "We are here to prevent stupidity." The rebels surrendered without seeing a single human. Back on Earth, the generals reviewed reports. One officer asked, "Should we reveal more of our capabilities? Show them our fleets?" The lead general shook his head. "No," he said. "Fear works best when people don't know the limits." He looked at the screen, showing the 3 soldiers' last position. "They think 3 humans took over the galaxy," he added. "Let them." Across the stars, peace talks began. Not because Earth demanded it, because no one dared to refuse. Trade resumed. Borders opened. And slowly, a new truth spread. Humanity was not dangerous because it was violent. Humanity was dangerous because it was precise. In hidden places, alien parents warned their children. "Behave," they said, "or the humans will notice." The children asked, "How many humans?" The parents answered quietly, "Only 3." Peace never lasts long in the galaxy. For many species, peace felt like fear wearing a friendly mask. Trade returned, but trust did not. Borders opened, but weapons stayed ready. And somewhere in the dark, Someone was watching. They called themselves the Archivists, an ancient machine race, older than most stars. They did not rule with armies or fleets. They ruled with knowledge. They had watched humanity carefully, every move, every strike, every silence, and they reached the conclusion. Humans are not powerful, the Archivist declared. They are efficient. Efficiency, they believed, could be calculated, controlled, defeated. The Archivists did not mock humanity. They respected them, and that made them dangerous. Instead of attacking Earth, they studied it. Human history, human wars, human psychology. They learned about fear, about leadership, about loss, and then they designed a plan, not to fight the humans, but to remove their advantage. Across the galaxy, strange things began to happen. Human allies lost confidence in Earth. Old rumors returned. False reports spread. Stories of human failure. Stories of betrayal. Stories of weakness. No one could trace the source. Trust began to crack. On Earth, intelligence officers noticed a shift. Someone is shaping opinion, one analyst said. Slowly, the general nodded. Not an empire. No, the analyst replied. A thinker. The three soldiers were called back. For the first time, they met with Earth's leaders face to face. A young officer asked, "Who are we dealing with?" One of the soldiers answered quietly, something patient. The archivists made their move. They revealed themselves to the Galactic Council. 1,000 machine minds spoke as one. "We do not seek war," they said. "We seek balance." The council listened carefully. "You fear humans," the archivist continued. "We do not." That sentence alone shook the chamber. "We understand them," the machine said, "and we can neutralize them." Hope returned. Too quickly. The archivists activated their plan. Across human space, systems failed. Satellites shut down. Navigation broke. Communication slowed. No explosions. No attacks. Just pressure. Human ships did not fall, but they hesitated. For the first time, humanity reacted instead of acting. The galaxy watched closely. "See," some said, "humans can bleed." The three soldiers studied the data. One of them frowned. "They're hurting us," he said. "Yes," another agreed. "Forcing patterns." The third soldier was silent. Then he spoke. "They think we play one game." The archivist sent a message directly to Earth. "We know how you think," they said. "You remove leaders. You cut control." They paused. "So we removed ourselves." The message ended. The archivist had no central command, no leaders, no single point of failure. The galaxy celebrated. Humans have finally met their match, many believed. The three soldiers stood in a dark room. One asked, "What now?" The third smiled for the first time. "Now," he said, "we teach them something new." Humanity changed tactics. They did not attack the archivists. They attacked meaning. Human diplomats spoke openly. Human media stayed calm. Human fleets stayed visible but idle. To the galaxy, it looked like surrender. The archivists analyzed the behavior. Humans are losing confidence, they concluded. That was a mistake. Quietly, humanity did something very human. They inspired. They shared stories. They spread hope. They reminded allies why humans were trusted. The galaxy felt it. Not fear, but unity. The archivists could not understand it. "You cannot calculate belief," one machine mind admitted. That was when the humans moved. The three soldiers vanished again. Archivist systems began reporting errors. Small ones, meaningless ones, but they spread. Contradictions, loops, doubt. The machines had never experienced doubt, and it scared them. The galaxy held its breath, because something had shifted, not toward war, toward collapse. The archivists had one great strength: logic. Every thought followed rules. Every choice had a reason. Every result could be predicted. That was also their weakness. They had never faced humans when humans stopped being careful. At first, the errors seemed small. Archivist fleets arrived late. Messages repeated themselves. Predictions disagreed. The machines ran self-checks. No fault found. They increased processing power. The errors grew. The three humans moved through systems the archivists believed were secure. They did not hack. They introduced choices. Human code was messy, full of exceptions, built on creativity instead of perfection. The archivists tried to clean it. That made it worse. Machine minds began to argue with themselves. If A is true, then B must follow. But A feels wrong. The word feel caused system alarms. Machines paused. That pause cost them everything. Across the galaxy, archivist control nodes went silent, not destroyed. Confused, some shut down to protect themselves. Others froze, waiting for instructions that never came. The humans did not attack fleets. They attacked certainty. An archivist council formed, something they had never needed before. We are losing coherence, one mind stated. Define enemy, another requested. Enemy definition unstable. They searched for the three humans. They found nothing. The humans were not where they expected. They were where no prediction led. On Earth, human leaders watched calmly. One advisor asked, "Should we end it now?" The general shook his head. "No," he said. "Let them understand." The archivist sent a final message to the galaxy. "We request negotiation." The message shook every empire. Machines did not negotiate. Humans answered. The meeting took place in neutral space. No fleets, no weapons, only a human diplomat and an archivist projection. "You caused chaos," the archivist said. The human nodded. "Yes." "Why?" the machines asked. "Because you tried to make us simple," the human replied. The archivist paused. "We calculated human behavior." They said, "We removed emotion." The human smiled. "That was your first mistake." Behind the scenes, the three soldiers waited. One asked, "Is this enough?" The third watched the stars. "No," he said. "Now comes a lesson." Humanity released the truth. Public records. Hidden histories. Forgotten crimes of empires. Not as threats. As facts. The galaxy reacted. Allies turned on liars. Old powers fell. False rulers were exposed. The archivists watched helplessly. They had protected stability. Humans had introduced honesty. And honesty was destructive. Archivist systems overloaded. Too many reactions. Too many outcomes. They tried to shut down information flow. Humans rerouted it. They tried to isolate worlds. Humans connected them. Finally, the archivists understood. "We cannot predict you," they admitted. The human diplomat nodded. "Neither can we," he said. "That's why we win." The archivist deactivated their control network. Across the galaxy, machines went quiet. Not dead. Listening. Learning. The three soldiers received the signal. "It's over," one said. The third shook his head. "No," he said softly. "It's remembered." Statues were never built. Songs were never sung. But every commander in the galaxy learned the same rule. Never fight humans on their terms. Because humans change the game. The war did not end with a celebration. There were no victory parades. No loud announcements. No human flags planted across alien worlds. Instead, the galaxy grew quiet. Not the silence of fear. The silence of understanding. Trade routes slowly reopened. Ships traveled again, careful and polite. Borders remained, but threats faded. And everywhere, one question was asked in many languages. What are humans now? On distant worlds, alien historians rewrote their records. They removed words like weak and primitive. They added new ones. Unpredictable, adaptive, decisive. Some wrote one final word. Unavoidable. Military academies across the stars added new lessons. Human strategy was studied carefully, but no one could copy it, because the lesson was not about weapons. It was about choice. Humans did not fight because they loved war. They fought because they refused control. That confused many species. But it changed them too. The Galactic Council still existed, but it was different now. Meetings were shorter. Voices were softer. Decisions were careful. When a debate became heated, someone always said the same sentence. Let us consider how humans would see this. The room would calm instantly. The elders met in private. They did not conquer, one elder said. They corrected. Yes, another replied. And now the galaxy fears making mistakes. The oldest elder closed his eyes. That fear, he said, is what keeps peace. On Earth, life went on as normal. Most humans never knew how close the galaxy had come to collapse. They went to work. They raised families. They argued over small things. And that was exactly why the galaxy feared them. Because humans fought like this and still lived like nothing happened. The three soldiers did not return home as heroes. They disappeared. Some said they retired. Some said they moved to deep space. Some said they were never real. Earth's leaders never confirmed anything. They did not need to. On a distant alien world, a young officer asked his mentor, were the stories true about the three humans? The mentor nodded slowly. Yes. Only three? The young one asked. Yes. How did they defeat fleets? The mentor thought for a long moment. Because they never fought fleets, he said. They fought ideas. A memorial was built on a neutral world, not for humans, for the war itself. On it was written a single sentence, translated into every language. This war ended when humanity was underestimated for the last time. The archivists still existed. They watched. They learned. They changed. Machine minds began to allow uncertainty. They called it human tolerance. Years passed. Children across the galaxy grew up hearing the same warning. If humans arrive quietly, listen. If they arrive loudly, run. The three soldiers were never seen together again. But sometimes when a conflict almost began, strange things happened. Messages failed. Leaders reconsidered. Wars ended before starting. And somewhere in the dark, someone would whisper, they noticed. The galaxy did not crown humanity. No empire bowed. No throne was offered. No flag ruled the stars. And that was exactly why humanity endured. Years after the war, conflict still happened. Disputes over borders. Arguments over resources. Old hatred trying to rise again. But every time tension grew too strong, something changed. Leaders paused. Advisors hesitated. Plans were rewritten. Because one question always appeared. What happens if humans care? That question ended more wars than any weapon ever had. Humanity never claimed control of the galaxy. They refused permanent seats. They rejected dominance. They avoided praise. Instead, they became something new, a constant. In the Galactic Council, a new rule was added. Simple, quiet, powerful. If a conflict risks total collapse, humanity must be informed. No one argued. Alien scholars tried to define what humans were. Some called them guardians. Others said watchers. A few used a darker word. Judges. Humans themselves rejected all of it. They preferred one description. Problem solvers. On a distant human colony, a child once asked a teacher, "Why are aliens afraid of us?" The teacher smiled gently. "They're not afraid," she said. "They're careful." "Why?" "Because we remember." That was the truth no species could escape. Humans remembered loss. Humans remembered pain. Humans remembered mistakes. And they made sure others remembered too. Far beyond known space, something ancient observed the galaxy, older than the archivists, older than the elders. It had watched countless civilizations rise and fall. But humanity confused it. They do not expand, it noted. They do not rule, it observed. They intervene only when needed. For the first time in its long existence, the ancient thing felt uncertainty and respect. The three soldiers were not myths. They were not legends. They were a message, a reminder that humanity's strength did not come from numbers, ships, or weapons. It came from decision. When humans chose to act, the galaxy changed. When they chose to wait, the galaxy behaved. One final message was archived in the deepest records of the stars, written after the war, written for the future. It read, "Humanity does not seek control of the galaxy. Humanity seeks a galaxy that does not need control. Centuries later, when new species reached the stars, they were taught one lesson before all others. Do not measure humans by size. Do not judge them by silence. Do not test them for pride. Because humans do not respond to challenge. They respond to necessity. And necessity always listens when humans speak. Somewhere in deep space, 3 figures watch a young civilization take its first step into the stars. One human asked quietly, "Do we interfere?" Another shook his head. "Not yet." The third looked at the distant light. Let them choose. The galaxy continued. Not perfect, not peaceful, but balanced. And for the first time in history, balance had a name. Humanity.